What does it take to be a successful wild turkey hunter? Patience, determination, and more patience? Do you have to be a great woodsman to get a bird? Or is it just plain luck that finally puts a bird in your sights? Successful turkey hunting does take a lot of patience, dedication, experience, and a little luck. Of course, you got to know what you're doing in the woods. But most important of all, you've got to know why you're doing it. When you know why something works, you can do things like figure out a new hunting situation, or solve a problem that's keeping you from getting a bird. For example, do you know why you'll find turkeys in some places and not others? That knowledge will help you scout for turkeys and find the best hunting sites. Do you know why camouflage is so important and why you have to be so quiet and still? You need that knowledge to get a bird in close enough for a clean harvest shot. Maybe you've picked up a few tips on calling turkeys, but do you know why calling works? How will you pick the right call when you go hunting? And why does planning a hunt make such a difference? By hunting with a strategy, you put the odds a little more in your favor. Knowing the whys, it's like filling out a formula for success. When you understand the wild turkey's environment, know how the bird behaves in that environment, and then put together a strategy to hunt him, you're going to be successful. In this program, Rob Keck will help you put together that formula for success. He's a master hunter of the wild turkey. His passion for wild turkey hunting began when he was a young boy and has grown to include being a world champion wild turkey caller and executive vice president of the National Wild Turkey Federation. In one short program, we can't teach you all the how-tos of turkey hunting, but we can show you a lot of the whys behind the sport. And when you understand the whys, all the how-tos will make a lot more sense. You'll be on your way to getting a wild turkey on purpose, not just by luck. Where's the best place to hunt wild turkeys? That's easy. It's where you find the most turkeys and the least amount of hunting pressure. But finding those places, that's the hard part. And that's why the environment factor in your formula for success is so important. You've got to know about the wild turkey's needs. Then you'll understand why you find turkeys in some places, but not others. When you scout, you need to know what to look for and listen for, and why some things you find are more important than others. In this program, we'll focus on the eastern wild turkey, but you can apply the formula for success to all subspecies of wild turkeys hunted in the United States. We'll also focus on spring scouting and hunting. The wild turkey is one of the few big game species that offers both fall and spring hunting seasons. For many hunters, there's nothing like the unique experience of hunting in the spring woods. When you're looking for turkeys to hunt, you can get a lot of good advice by just asking around. Talk to other hunters or salespeople in gun shops. Game wardens and state wild turkey biologists are usually glad to share what they know about turkey numbers and locations. And if you want to hunt private land, get out and talk to landowners. The landowner often knows a lot about the turkeys on his property. And, of course, you must get permission from the owner before scouting or hunting on private land. But to get the best information on turkey locations and movements, you've got to scout your hunting areas. Come along as Rob Keck does some springtime scouting for wild turkeys.
Successful turkey scouting requires educated ears and eyes, skilled map reading, and a good pair of boots. Since hearing a turkey confirms you're in the right area and guides you to where you should begin to scout for physical signs, you should learn to recognize turkey calls and listen all the time when you're in the woods. An educated ear means you can recognize turkey gobbling and calling when you hear it. Listen to these gobblers. Stand against a tree, get at ease, and face the area you think turkeys will gobble from. The tree may help you pick up reverberations of turkey sounds. You can cup your hands around your ears to pick up more sound. Be patient. Wait to hear gobbling. In the early morning, you may hear a gobbler on the roost. Later in the day, you may hear him gobbling as he looks for hens. Mark the locations of different gobbling birds on your map. Take a compass reading to make sure and note the location in reference to a major landmark. You want to scout as many areas with gobblers as possible.
Listening is the best way to determine if there are turkeys in your hunting area, but sometimes the birds aren't talking. Then you've got to use all the skills of a true woodsman to find turkeys. You've got to know how to move through the woods quietly and find your way around. You've got to know what to look for in the turkey's environment and understand what it means. Having an educated eye makes the difference between hunters who are successful and those who are just out for a walk in the woods. You need to know how to find good turkey habitat because that's where the most turkeys are likely to be most of the time. Good turkey habitat provides all the things that turkeys need for survival, like food, water, cover, and roost sites. The more you know about how turkeys meet their needs for survival, the better you'll be at finding good habitat. Rob takes you through one example, knowing what turkeys eat.
Wild turkeys eat a variety of foods. They eat what they can find and consume literally hundreds of different types of animal and vegetable matter. Food ranges from insects to grasses, small reptiles and amphibians like lizards and salamanders, to hard and soft mast like acorns and dogwood fruit. As wildlife biologist Lovett Williams has written, the wild turkey will attempt to eat almost anything slow enough to catch and small enough to swallow. Their preferences are based on availability and abundance, the season and the region.
Find good turkey habitat and concentrate your scouting in those areas. But good habitat's no guarantee you'll find turkeys. You have to use your educated eyes to look for turkey signs. Tracks can indicate the sex and number of turkeys in the area. Droppings tell you about the bird's diet and whether it's a gobbler or hen. Droppings below a tree help you identify a roost site. Scratchings show you feeding areas and direction of travel. Dustings are places where turkeys douse themselves in dust to reduce itching from parasites and molting feathers. Strut marks show you where a gobbler has been parading his presence before a flock of hens.
Successfully locating a site with lots of fresh sign will do you little good if you don't know the area well enough to find it again. Learn to read a topographical map and use a compass if you don't already know how. Topos tell you a lot about the terrain by showing the physical features of an area. A topo map will help you build a mental picture of your hunting area. The compass will help you orient yourself.
Signs tell you where the birds have been and where they could be again on the day you go hunting. But the best sign of all is actually spotting some of the big birds.
Spotting turkeys a long way off is tough. Train your eyes to detect any movement in a large area. From a distance, all you'll see are black dots. If they move, they may be turkeys. These birds are at about 300 yards. One of these birds is a gobbler. Can you tell which one? It's the bird that seems to get larger while you watch. He's going into a strut, and as he does, he gets larger.
You scout to build a detailed map of your hunting area. You want to know where the turkeys are going to be on the day you go hunting and where the best places are to position yourself. You're doing everything you can to reduce your dependence on luck, and if you do it well, you'll have your turkey right where you want it. Wild turkeys are fascinating creatures to watch and study. Most successful hunters will say that the more you know about turkey behavior, the greater your chances of harvesting a bird. There are two types of turkey behavior you should definitely know about. You need to know how they detect and avoid danger. And how and why they call to each other. Understanding those two types of behavior will really make a difference in your hunting success. The wild turkey is a wary, elusive bird. His senses are always set on high to detect danger. Let Rob Keck tell you about the bird's senses.
The wild turkey's highly developed sense of sight, especially the ability to see movement, and its sense of hearing are its major defenses. It can see and hear acutely better than man. Many times, a turkey will see and hear a moving hunter long before the hunter can see the turkey.
The wild turkey quickly notices any movement. That's why you must be very still and try to move only when the bird is not looking at you. That's pretty hard to do because the turkey has a 220-degree field of view. He's constantly bobbing and turning his head for a better look. But even if you don't move, the wild turkey may notice little things, like the glint of light off a watch or a gun barrel. You should be camouflaged from head to toe, and so should your gun and all your other equipment. The turkey's hearing is extremely sharp. The turkey's also very good at picking out the direction a sound comes from. If you make noises that don't belong in the woods and the turkey hears you, he's going to know where you are, and he's probably not going to be coming in your direction.
When you're hunting wild turkeys, you're in the turkey's domain. The bird can see and hear better than you, and that's why you don't stalk a wild turkey. Nature gave the bird that advantage. You have to gain the advantage by bringing the bird in front of your sights under conditions that you select.
That's the key to successful turkey hunting, bringing the bird to you. To bring a bird in, you talk turkey to him. But to do that properly, you've got to understand when and why the birds call to each other. In the fall, turkeys are gregarious. They call to find each other and then to keep the flock together. A common fall hunting technique is to scatter a flock of birds. After a while, they'll try to regroup. You start calling like one of the lost scattered birds. If you do it right, and you're in the right location, one or more of the other turkeys will come looking for you, so you can join the flock. Spring is the mating season, when the wild gobbler's call thunders through the woods. Let Rob Keck show you how to use the gobbler's behavior to your advantage.
The gobbler frequents open areas where he can display himself to attract hens. Longer days in spring trigger the wild turkey's mating instinct. The need to mate gets stronger as days get longer. Hormone levels go up and gobbling activity increases. A hen responds to the dominant gobbler's gobble and/or his display by coming to him. The birds may call to each other as they approach or meet silently. A dominant gobbler continues seeking more hens to mate as the season progresses. Eating is secondary to mating. In the spring, the need to mate is more important to the wild turkey than anything else. Dominant gobblers tend to roam farther to find more hens to mate as the season progresses. His regular hens are beginning to stay in the nest, incubating their eggs. Use this as part of your hunting strategy. You know he wants more hens. Convince him you're a hot hen and he'll come to you. That's what calling is for.
You've seen how to use the behavior factor in your formula for success. You know about the wild turkey's incredibly sharp hearing and vision. You know how to mask your presence in the woods with camouflage and just plain sitting still. You know that the key to bringing a bird into your gun is imitating the turkey's calls. You can't control that turkey's behavior, but by understanding it, you can definitely increase the odds he'll show up in your sights. When you watch an experienced hunter in action, it all seems so easy. Rob Keck is hunting wild turkeys in the fall. As an experienced, successful hunter, everything he does is part of a hunting strategy. He scouted the area thoroughly, so he knows the best places to find turkeys. He sets up in a position that's safe for him and effective for hunting turkeys. He's practiced his calls. He has a plan for what calls he's going to use, and he knows why they work. Everything he does is part of a plan, a strategy to reduce his dependence on luck. Sure, there's always a little luck involved in any kind of hunting. Sometimes a lot of luck. But a strategy helps you make your own luck. With a plan, you're ready for whatever comes along. The strategy factor in your formula for success consists of preparation and planning. You prepare yourself and your equipment for the challenges of hunting the wild turkey. And you plan out the hunt so you know where you're going to start, what you're going to do, and what alternatives you have if your first position doesn't work out. The most important part of preparation is knowing how to hunt safely. That means knowing and practicing the basics of firearm safety, like always pointing the muzzle in a safe direction, treating every gun as if it's loaded, unloading the gun when you're not hunting and leaving the action open, and leaving the safety on until just before you're ready to shoot. When you're out hunting, be absolutely sure of your target before firing. In the spring, wait until you can see that gobbler's beard, and be aware of what's behind your target, too. Never fire at sound, movement, or a patch of color. It could be another hunter. And it's not enough to just be sure of your target. You must hunt defensively so that you don't become an accidental target. Being aware of sounds, movements, and colors, those are the keys to defensive hunting. You might consider wearing hunter orange whenever you're moving from one calling location to another. Some hunter safety experts also recommend wrapping your bird in blaze orange before you carry it out. Take your blaze orange off when you get into position, but then remain as still as possible. It's the best hunting technique, and you're less likely to draw the attention of another hunter. Never try to stalk a turkey or drive birds. Another hunter might see your movement and think it's a turkey. Make sure your camo covers you from head to toe. To another hunter, any uncovered portion of your body may appear to be part of a turkey. And never wear any red, white, blue, or black items into the turkey woods. Those are the colors your target wears in the spring. When you pick a hunting position, sit at the base of a tree that is wider than your shoulders. The tree will help conceal your movements and protect you from the rear. And remember, whenever you call like a turkey, other hunters may think you are a turkey. Gobbling, for example, can be extremely dangerous, especially in the spring. Finally, if you need to let another hunter know your position, shout loudly. Don't whistle or wave your arms because that could make you a target. We mentioned that target identification is a big part of hunting safely. You should prepare yourself to know what a turkey looks like, even when it's partially obscured. Could you clearly identify a gobbler? A hen? You should know how to identify turkeys in all seasons, but especially in the spring, when you can take bearded turkeys, gobblers only.
Wild turkey identification is one of the most critical judgments you'll have to make. You have to be able to identify your bird under any hunting conditions to be a responsible hunter and sportsman. Sometimes you'll hear a turkey first. Other times a bird will appear without making a sound. You have to be able to determine the sex of that bird before you shoot. More often than not, you'll have a partial or restricted view.
Learn to identify turkeys by studying birds in the wild and viewing programs like this one and others in the 3M Mastery Series on wild turkey hunting. As you study turkeys to identify them, listen closely to their calls. That will help you improve your own calling skills. Wildlife biologists have identified over 24 different calls that turkeys make. But you need to know only a couple of calls to hunt turkeys in most situations. Listen as Rob Keck demonstrates the basic yelp and cluck.
This is a plain yelp on a caller. The plain yelp often consists of 5 to 10 notes, but more or less may be heard. It's often used to assemble turkeys when they've been separated while feeding. It may also be heard when the birds are still on the roost or flying down. You can use the plain yelp to bring a bird to your position. Here's a series of yelps in the woods. Note the rhythm of the yelping. The other basic call to know for success is the cluck. The cluck consists of one or more short staccato notes. It is one of the variety of single syllable or single note calls. The plain cluck many times includes 2 or 3 distinct single note clucks. No one knows for sure what it means, but it is used by one turkey to get the attention of another, according to Lovett Williams. Oftentimes you'll hear it as the birds are feeding or moving through the woods. Think of it as flock talk among the birds. You can use it to locate turkeys and to calm down a gobbler coming into your calling in the spring. It reassures the gobbler that the hen he's coming to is still there and waiting.
Many hunters blame problems on bad calling. More often, the problem is movement, noise, or poor positioning. I've hunted all over the country in lots of different conditions and situations. I use the basics more often than anything else when I'm calling birds.
You've scouted your hunting area. You feel you've got a good handle on what the wild turkeys are doing. You've prepared yourself to hunt safely and effectively. Now, how do you put it all together? That's where planning comes in. You start with a hunting plan that gives you the best shot at getting a turkey. Then you think about alternatives. What will you do if your first position doesn't work? What if conditions change? What will you do then? For example, one of the best plans for spring hunting is to roost a gobbler. The evening before you go hunting, you try to find a gobbler that's flown up to his roost for the night. An owl hoot or crow call will usually get him to gobble. Then you know exactly where he is. The next morning, before your gobbler flies down, you've got to be in position about 150 yards away from his roost. That gobbler is going to be looking for a hen the minute he wakes up, and you want to be the first hen he gets excited about. Roosting a gobbler may be your best plan, but it's no guarantee that you'll get a bird. Your gobbler might find a real hen. He might be spooked by another hunter. He might get hung up by some heavy brush or another obstacle. So, you've got to have alternative plans. You may choose to stay put and keep calling, aggressively at times. Remind that gobbler that you're still there. Or, you could have an alternative hunting site in mind, a place where you've seen hens feeding or found evidence of gobblers strutting. When you've got some good alternatives, the odds are much better that you'll bring home a bird. In this program, we've just touched on the essentials of wild turkey hunting. To be successful, you need more detailed knowledge, more specific skills. But now you know what's important and why you need to know it. With the formula for success as your guide, knowing the turkey's environment, understanding his behavior, and coming up with hunting strategies, you can put yourself right here, right where every wild turkey hunter wants to be. Would you like to know how to find the best areas for hunting wild turkeys? Do you want to know how you can hunt wild turkeys more successfully by understanding their behavior? Are you excited by the idea of putting together a hunting plan? A plan that puts you in the right position at the right time? With the right calls to bring a bird in to your gun. The 3M Mastery Series on wild turkey hunting. lets you experience the excitement of this great American hunt. You'll learn the whys and how-tos of successful turkey hunting, and you'll avoid the frustration of depending on pure luck to get you a bird. Understanding the wild turkey gives you an in-depth, close-up look at these magnificent birds. Master wild turkey hunter Rob Keck takes you into the turkey's world. You'll learn why some areas are prime turkey habitat. You'll see the wild turkey's daily and seasonal behaviors and learn what those behaviors mean to your hunting success. You'll discover what it takes to avoid the keen senses of that gobbler you're after. Then Rob Keck shows you how to find and call the wild turkey. You'll get Rob's expert advice on the 2 or 3 calls you need to know. And you'll hike right along with Rob as he systematically scouts the spring woods, looking and listening for turkeys and turkey signs. You'll learn how to find signs, and more important, how to read those signs to understand what they really mean. You'll see how all the information you collect while scouting can be put into a detailed hunting plan, a plan that puts you in the right position on opening day. You'll put it all together as you go successful spring turkey hunting. Rob Keck takes you along on 3 different hunts, showing you how to develop a hunting plan, pick your best position, and move to an alternative position when necessary. You'll learn the finer details of positioning yourself and setting up for the best shot. Rob covers several different calling strategies that will bring a gobbler within range of your gun. Finally, you'll be at Rob's shoulder as he calls a really big gobbler closer and closer. The Wild Turkey Hunting Mastery Series from 3M Leisure Time Products. It's one of the quickest, easiest, and most exciting ways to make you a successful wild turkey hunter. The largemouth bass. If you want to tackle the hard-hitting action of America's favorite game fish, the 3M Sportsman's Video Collection has a complete series of original programs that'll make you the best bass angler on your water. There's Big Mouth, a classic film that puts you in the bass's world. Years in the making, edited from miles of incredible underwater footage. You'll see the secrets of bass behavior and why they're so challenging and exciting to catch. Nobody understands big bass better than Doug Hannon, the bass professor. In the Hannon Big Bass videos, you'll learn the newest, most innovative ideas about finding and catching bass. Through amazing underwater photography, you'll see how bass detect and strike lures. You'll learn to recognize the locations that hold big bass. And when you're ready to tie into one of these lunkers, Doug will show you his complete system for going after really big bass. The special lures, the necessary equipment and skills. Doug prepares you to catch the bass of a lifetime. For a look at bass fishing from top to bottom, spend a day on the water with championship fisherman Ricky Clun. Ricky will show you how to find bass fast in unfamiliar waters and catch them with all the top techniques, from worm fishing to flipping. When you understand the whys behind a sport, the how-tos make a lot more sense. That's the secret of our trail-breaking Bass Mastery Series with Al Lindner. Al shows you the basic principles behind his ability to catch more and bigger bass. With Al's formula for success, you'll be able to locate the bass hot spots, know what the fish are doing, and then select the right presentation. You'll catch more bass more consistently under a wide range of conditions. In the active spring period, Al shows you how to deal with the rapidly changing conditions of spring as the bass go through pre-spawn, spawn, and post-spawn patterns. It's the fast and efficient way to springtime fishing excitement. You can beat the dog days of July and August and still catch bass when few other anglers know what to do. Weather changes, human pressure, the effects of light and shade. You'll be able to master them all when you learn Al's surefire strategies for summer. In the Trophy Bass of Fall, Al shows you how to find those tight groups of really big cold water bass. Discover why fall conditions offer the best opportunity to land a trophy. The Bass Mastery programs, no other videos do more to develop all your angling skills. How to interpret local conditions, how to find bass, and how to pick the right lures. 3M Bass Fishing Videos. We're the best at making you better. And if you love fishing, hunting, and other sports, think of 3M as your total video resource for outdoor adventure. The gentle beauty of a deep forest glade. The heart-pounding excitement of a trophy buck in rut. Going one-on-one with North America's most popular big game animal. That's what deer hunting's all about. And nobody brings you more in-depth information and true life action than the 3M Sportsman's Video Collection. If it's excitement you're after, come fishing with the experts from 3M Scientific Anglers and learn ways to catch more and bigger trout on the fly. You'll learn where to find trout in a stream and ways to present the right fly with the perfect cast so you can catch the most elusive trout during hatch and non-hatch situations. Plus, there's steelheading for 20-pound rainbows or going for the ultimate saltwater challenge. Let 3M Scientific Anglers bring home the excitement while you learn a lifetime of mastery techniques that will help you become the best fly fisherman you can be.